actually the opposite of
Opposite of a snub means that like someone who didn't get in. Oof.
someone who didn't get in.
Hopefully you enjoyed that.
I got one.
Hopefully you enjoyed that first clip. Fun fact:
sorry.
Boudreaux didn't know what snub meant. And that's so we're gonna start with Danny instead, and then swing it around town. All right, give me. So we obviously all know what a snub is.
No.
The Pro Bowl roster was released.
I
We
don't
all
know.
do now. Now we game over.
Game
Pro
over.
Bowler.
Game over.
All right, so I know I sound a little biased because I am a Dallas fan, but
Get over
in my
it.
opinion,
Go ahead.
in my
Get over
opinion, the number one snub is Dak Prescott. He has a league high 25 drops. He is the third ranked QB in completions. He is the second in passing yards, fifth in total TDs, and fifth in yards per attempt. And he's also third in QB rating, who is behind only Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, who are arguably the two best in the league. So that's why I think that Dak is
And
slept
you're a
on.
Cowboys
and-
fan.
Yeah.
Who's your second?
My second was Julian Edelman. A lot of people think that he's not good and doesn't belong in the Pro Bowl, but he's the fourth among wide receivers in snaps, third in pass routes. He's also the second in targets and third in pass receptions, and he has caught 6 TD passes despite being only targeted 8 times into the end zone. And for me, that's a pretty good stat to throw out there.
I think that he could have made the Pro Bowl only if he wasn't, in the half part of the season, teams didn't. Oh, let's double team him now because he's the
Only
number one
guy
receiver.
on the offense.
And
I
that's
think-
that for me. That's another reason why he should be in the Pro Bowl. He's putting up these stats that, even being double teamed, he's putting up decent stats that are, in my opinion, one of the best in the league for wide receivers.
He doesn't have like the yards, but he's one of those hard receivers that you need on the football field.
I agree. If he doesn't have, like you said, the yards, but he has the receptions, he has the targets, and
Yeah,
when
but
he
if
is
I throw it
targeted-
6 times and hit 6 times, it's 100%. That means I'm good.
I mean, 6 for 8 is pretty good.
6 for 8 in the end zone's pretty good.
If you're only getting targeted 8 times in the end zone, you catch a 6 out of
I
8.
just figured. I think that they
the other
realized
two probably being a defended pass.
Yeah, I mean you could say that, but I think that when you look at the Patriots and say their offense isn't good, you completely forget about like his stats,
No,
and
I
then you're
agree.
just like, which I think you
And
think
people
that
sleep on him.
I don't sleep. On
I
him.
don't think. I think.
That's not my
I
bad.
personally only think Edelman's good because of Brady, but that's a hot take.
I disagree strongly.
But I'm also a big component that Brady makes every receiver he's played with other than Randy Moss, and I've said that since Brady's
Randy
been in the
Moss was
league,
great when he got there.
Danny Amendola's not doing anything though.
Because my point is valid.
Boom. He's agreeing with you.
I know you're agreeing with me. That's what I'm saying.
Macho
That's
Man Randy Savage.
what I'm saying.
Your turn.
All right, so I'll start with Austin Eckler. This is a man that took the league by storm and took every opportunity he had with Melvin Gordon out. He has 11 touchdowns on the season with a total of 1,392 combined passing and receiving yards. If you compare this to Mark Ingram's 10 touchdowns with less than 1,000 total yards and Chubb's 8 with 1,408 yards, I think Eckler really makes a case on why he should be here. Stats prove that Eckler is better than Ingram, but Ingram's on a better team,
Granted, therefore.
and he's the only running back. Therefore, that is why Ingram is there. I don't agree with it, but that is the NFL we live in.
So why is Nick Chubb's in there? Because he plays.
Because, I mean, Eckler has more Chubb made it, and Eckler has 3 more touchdowns than Eckler and pretty much almost the same amount of yards. He's only 20 yards less.
I think
Chubb's also on a bad team.
You're right,
I
but
think he's one.
Chubb's the best.
I
To me, Chubb is the best player on that Browns team.
I agree, and that's why I feel Chubbs deserves it over Eckler.
But stat-wise, Eckler is putting up better numbers.
I do agree.
On a
that,
worse
like,
team.
Stats happen, but again, a Pro Bowl is kind of like the All-Star game where you need names on there, and I feel like more people know about Nick Chubb because the Browns got a lot of views this year. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
not saying
and
you're wrong.
that's why
But-
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the type of NFL we live in. It's wrong, and this is why he's a snub.
All right. Next one.
Kirk Cousins. A lot of people are gonna call me crazy,
Is that after?
and I think that, with that being said, I saw it. I'm just not acknowledging it.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins didn't get selected because the other three quarterbacks have better stats than him. However, I think out of any other quarterback, the reason he's snubbed is because he's got the third highest passer rating among QBs that have thrown at least 300 times. Lamar Jackson and Drew Brees are over him. However, if you pull out that Colts game where he just had a monster week, Kirk Cousins was ahead of him before that game. Now, obviously, you can't take that away because then it's flawed stats.
Yeah.
However, I just think that's something to note.
I think that he is my sub, and the other one's your next person on the list.
I think as far as Kirk Cousins goes, I think because one of those three quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl are probably going to the Super Bowl. I think Kirk Cousins is the first one to replace them if the Vikings don't go to the
So
Super Bowl.
you have Rodgers, Breeze, and
I think Rodgers, Breeze, Cousins, or who's the other
Wilson.
quarterback? Wilson. I think out of those four quarterbacks, I feel like one of them's going to go.
well, mathematically, like probability-wise, that is in your favor.
Yeah.
But granted, you never know about the 49ers. They can
That's true.
wow.
That's true.
So they have
But the 49ers are the AFC, so that's pretty irrelevant right now.
what?
To Kirk
49ers?
Cousins in the NFC.
49ers are in the NFC.
No, they're not. Yes, they are.
That's gonna get clipped.
Wow,
and
you
sent
guys can
everywhere
clip that
in the
one.
friend group.
Wow.
All right.
That's
I
very.
really just want to be like, how
That's
you
the first
me wrong?
football thing I've gotten wrong in a long time, so
All right.
I'm okay with that.
I
But
mean,
That's
again,
not wrong.
I think Kirk Cousins is gonna be the replacement here. However, it's time to talk about my favorite player in the league, the man I think got
LSU
stubbed
Tiger.
more than anybody. I'm sorry, Earl Thomas. You don't deserve to be where you are. And this is another case where the only reason you are there is because your team is good. Earl Thomas has 45 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 defended passes, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble on the number 6 defense. Tyrann Mathieu
Which, a.k.a. Honey Badger,
The
those
Honey
who don't
Badger.
know.
has 62 tackles, 2 sacks, 9 passes defended. He is, I can't see the coffee mugs in the way, 3 interceptions on that's the 18th ranked defense.
An 8th.
No, that's 18th. I wrote it wrong.
Oh, 18th.
That is the
My
18th
bad.
ranked defense.
So, this is another case of Earl Thomas is on quote-unquote the best defense, and Tyrann Matthews is on the 18th
And
best
that is
defense.
what's wrong. This is why it's a snub, man. The Pro Bowl,
Is a joke.
I've always said the Pro Bowl should be fan voted.
I think
personally.
it should go back to a fantasy draft, and we should have 2 Hall of Famers be the coach.
I'm fine with that too.
Better
That'd be cool. But my point is, of course you can argue Earl Thomas to be there. And these guys pretty much are hand-in-hand interchangeable. And I think this is another case where if Ravens make the Super Bowl,
Tyrann
Honey
Matthews
Badger's
is
the
in.
first one to step in. But that's
is
not
what it
how
is.
it happens. I think Tyrann Mathieu got snubbed more than anybody. His stats are clearly better than Earl Thomas's. But I think it also falls back on Earl Thomas is a veteran in the league. Tyrann Mathieu's only in his 4th year. So, yeah.
But I think all of his 4 years, you can argue when he was with the Texans too, he was a top safety in the
Oh,
league.
yeah.
But
I think he's the best safety in the league, but
I'm,
I could understand other people's arguments.
I think it's a Trubisky situation to where if someone doesn't get hurt or someone goes to the Super Bowl, these two get the nod. I mean Cousins and Tyrann. Eckler is going to be a Super Bowl thing. I don't think he's getting over Chubb unless if Chubb gets hurt. And I don't know who's next on that list. I don't know the list ahead of me.
I just think Eckler
Julian
put up better
Edelman,
numbers.
I don't think he gets in whether or not someone makes the Super Bowl or not.
I mean,
I think
I
he
don't
just is
know.
not in.
Um,
And then Dak Prescott, I guess he can be like a Trubisky situation where he gets subbed in.
oh, off target. I remember why I don't believe in the Saints.
Okay.
Sorry, but it just kicked me.
It kicked you.
If you look at that team, out of the, I think it was, I forget how many
Me?
passes they
Look
threw.
at that team. This guy.
The team leader in passes is Michael Thomas with over 120. The second highest is Ted Ginn at less than 30. If I'm a head coach of a team, just double Michael Thomas. Let somebody else beat you. That's what these teams aren't doing. And I think one of these smarter veteran coaches, such as a Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh, are going to keen in on that. And Andy Reid are going to keen in on that. And that's why the Saints are going to win. Hot take.
All right. Well, Nick, you got any Pro Bowl snubs you'd like to say different or?
Not somebody that's in.
No,
I think-
that's different, but like you could.
I think I had him in my head. I lost it.
Well, it's okay because I'm gonna go with Cousins and the Honey Badger. But I went through and made a case for everyone but Julian Edelman. I think all these guys are gonna make it because one of the guys above them are going to either A, the Super Bowl, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to say get hurt because that's not cool. That's why Trubisky made a Pro Bowl because someone got hurt. He's not that good.
No,
I
he
think-
is, but
Whatever.
One of the. For some reason I can't put it in. Is it Devin McCourtney or Jason McCourtney that's safety?
Jason McCourty.
It's Jason. Yeah.
He should. No way. He didn't
I
get stunned,
think-
man.
I-
That's just you being a Patriots fan.
No. Listen. This year, I think he's been doing exceptionally well. Van Noy. That's what I was thinking of. Van Noy, I think. I'm being totally biased here. I'm sorry.
No.
But I think
So,
Kyle
brother,
Van
this
Noy
guy
from the
said Dak
Patriots.
Prescott,
I
let me up,
think.
Scotty.
I think. I think he should have made. The Pro Bowl. I just think. I don't have
I
any
mean,
stats to pull it up. 'Cause I
Yes,
didn't really
he
know.
averages 6.5 sacks, 0 interceptions, 1 forced fumble.
I don't know. I mean, you could make a case for.
Well,
pretty
Boom
much-
Tower is boom,
Oh,
I mean,
and Stephon Gilmore.
Is overrated.
Shut up.
Stephon Gilmore's probably going to get depoy. However, it's
Should
not
not.
going to matter because Patriots aren't going to Super Bowl because they can't beat a good team.
I don't think they are.
I
going
do
to
not
either.
think he deserves depoy.
I think he
I
deserves.
mean, it's him or
depoy.
Minka.
Yes, I believe
I
that.
don't think he deserves it either.
Minka?
I think Nick Bosa does.
Nick Bosa doesn't deserve it.
I think so.
Nick Bosa's
It's
great,
just my
but
opinion. But that's off topic. So
yeah.
Well, we can always talk about that next podcast. But as of right now, Carlos, what is your snubs here? Do you have any that are different from the rest? Do you have any that are the same as the rest? Do you think our list is pretty solid here, brother?
Honestly, I'm not even paying attention.
Got it. That's fair enough. Anyone got one thing to say before we end it here?
Merch,
Okay.
Instagram.
Anything new? Randy Savage. Alright. Danny?
That. Randy Savage, brother. We go to you, brother. Randy
I'm good.
You good? You don't want to say anything being the first time?
No, I'm good.
Alright, test down.
It's
Other
always,
test down.
it's always good to be here. Always a good time. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Carlos' brother. Yeah. Where we in? Go Dolphins?
Randy Savage.
No.
Dolphins.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Go Tigers! LSU Tigers!